Hey, you all, and good morning. We are in New Orleans, Louisiana. We are continuing the Choose My Adventure road trip. Right now you can go vote whether I head east or west now that we've come down the Mississippi River. But today we are going to spend the day here in New Orleans, Louisiana. And behind me is what looks just like a normal house here in this neighborhood. But this is actually a museum, a very unique, one-of-a-kind museum. This is the Flooded House Museum. So this whole neighborhood, during Hurricane Katrina in 2005, this whole neighborhood was submerged underwater. Matter of fact, 80% of New Orleans was underwater. I think some people have the misperception that it was just certain areas of New Orleans, but no, it was pretty much the entire city. And this was just a normal neighborhood. Unfortunately, I don't know if you can see, but there is a seawall or a water wall right back there, a concrete wall that was completely breached. The water didn't go over top of it. It collapsed and the water came spilling out into this neighborhood with very little notice and flooded these houses, obviously taking lives as well. So a group that decided to restore this house right here, the Flooded House Museum, and they set it up. They refurbished it. They set it up like a normal house pre-Katrina, and then they changed it to show what the house looked like after it was discovered, after the flood had happened. So let's go take a look at the Flooded House Museum. So this is at the breach site of the London Avenue Canal flood wall. So yeah, the flood wall back here, which let's go take a peek at that. The flood wall back here just completely pushed in. So yeah, their backyard here at this house was up against that flood wall. You can see the hill and the concrete wall that just fell in, and the water came pushing out into the neighborhood here. Here, August 28th, 2005. Saying that the house would have looked like this, have it set up like a traditional New Orleans house. And then between 6 and 7 a.m. on August 29th, the flood wall panels just behind the house here tipped over and released thousands of cubic yards of sand and 1 million gallons of water into the neighborhood. It says it failed due to engineering design flaws. Here's during the flood. You can see we are in this house right here. So you can see this is the flood wall that just completely broke. The water pushed out into the neighborhood there. So yeah, we're standing on that porch, so you can see the flood level, how high that is. Here it's September 10th. But just think about how long that is, from the end of August till September 10th. The flood is still there, the water's still there. There's a helicopter dropping bags into the water trying to plug that flood wall. You know, this house is right here. And then October 2nd, still, you know, this is from the end of August to now we're into October. There's the house there. You can see there's all the silt, all the sand still covering these cars out in front. So let's take a peek into the Flooded House Museum. Look in the window there. Oh, and you can see that take that in the water level there. Got the overturned piano. Just all the furniture is uplifted because of the strength of the flood waters. You can see the markers that are put by FEMA to indicate how many people were in the house, how many dead, how many alive. You can see the living room there, toys strewn about. It's that flood line across the wall there. Everything just completely upturned, and you can see a newspaper stuck to the table says Katrina takes aim. You can almost see the different periods, the different flood levels there. stopped off here at St. Roch's Cemetery. You can see the very distinct New Orleans crypts here. And you know how these work, if you're not familiar with how they work, is one body can be placed in these at a time. So there would be like a shelf right here, and they will put the body in there for 1 year. And the heat of the New Orleans sun inside this almost functions, hate to say it, but almost like a pizza oven. And the body cooks and turns into a skeleton. At what point they're allowed to reopen the grave and then push the skeleton to the back where it'll fall down. And so there's basically all the bones, all the skeletons are in the bottom there of the people that are buried. You see, you know, a list of people that have been buried there. So I think sometimes they're placed in a bag to keep all the bones in one place, but that's how a crypt works here in New Orleans. Now, St. Roch, who this chapel is named after, is the patron saint of dogs, invalids, falsely accused people, and bachelors. Now, as you walk around the cemetery to the back of the chapel here, actually peek in the window, see if we can get a look in here. You can see that there is artificial limbs hanging there, and people leave artificial limbs here as a way to ask St. Roch to help cure their ailments, as he was the patron saint of invalids. You can see on the far back there is like a leg brace, and then there's some crutches there, I guess showing that maybe these people had some luck in asking St. Roch for help, leaving their crutches there. They used to leave the doors open. I've been here before where they were open and you could go in and see the shrine, but today they are locked. Headed down to the French Quarter here in New Orleans. See this golden statue of Joan of Arc. There's this foot massagery here. On the window is a map of the human foot and where it attaches to other parts of the body. These middle toes connect to the eyes. This attaches to the colon. It's interesting.
Welcome to Jackson Square, founded in 1718 by French explorers Monsieur Iberville and Monsieur Bienville. The quintessential heart of the city. Everything stemmed out from here.
Ah.
The first port was right beyond the square.
That's very educational,
and
thank you.
Behind me is telling everybody all about that.
Okay, so thank you for the history lesson. It's very appreciated. A little something.
Magic show, showtime. Man with the whistle is going to tell you, showtime.
Awesome. Yeah, here in Jackson Square, a bunch of street performers, also sidekicks at their tables there, getting ready to do readings.
Oh, I love your hat. That's fantastic.
Oh, thank you. I love your backpack.
Thank you. Oh my, and your shoes. With your shoes and me, we're like the primary colors of the color wheel, and that's all the colors that we see with our weird, not my eyes because they're styrofoam, but your real eyes. Yeah.
So you're running for president? Is that?
Yeah, because the bar's been set so high. I feel like I'm qualified.
Right there?
I feel like since it's not real anyway, you might as well vote for me so you can feel good and get more oxygen because you're breathing deeper, because you're laughing probably, because people laugh at fake stuff, you know? Especially when it's based on life. You know, the best comedy is the stuff that's true. And that's why people laugh, because they're like, oh, I've seen that in my life too. And then when they get that uptake on the end breath, they're their electrochemical machine starts firing in weird and cool ways, like good feelings and stuff. And even though I can't get feelings because I'm fake, I can act like I can.
Oh.
You guys can actually get them. So unless you think it's for real, if you think it's for real, don't vote for me, because that would really make you upset.
So only if you think it's fake?
Only if you think it's fake can you actually vote for me in the polls.
All right, well.
Because I don't want you to throw your vote away if it's real.
Okay.
At the national level, city and state, depending on where you live, maybe there's still validity. All the libertarian ideas that everybody has only works in a small community. And don't worry, after the big collapse, there will be a bunch of small communities, and there will be electricity, and we'll have to hunt and fish, and then there'll probably be roving bands of cannibals.
Oh no, roving bands of cannibals.
Yeah, oh yeah, and weird hierarchical new communities, micro communities of madmen.
Oh wow.
Science fiction is there for all of those. Sorry, I got really long-winded. I'm gonna go back to my day job.
Wow, what was that? We have the Cathedral of St. Louis right here in Jackson Square. And they have a statue here of Pope John Paul II. They're holding some little children there. Now this is something I wanted to check out for a while here, the Louisiana State Museum right here in the heart of New Orleans. And looks like they are open today, so let's go ahead and check this out. First up, we have an exhibit on Hurricane Katrina. It says that this axe right here was used by a resident of New Orleans when they were stuck in their attic, to actually hack out of the attic to get out of the rising floodwaters that were seeping into the attic. They were actually trapped completely in their attic with no way out and had to use a hatchet, that's truly a horrifying thought. It says that now people from New Orleans actually do keep hatchets in their attic just in case. Talking about ordinary heroes here. This is a man named Stephen Ford. He was a crab fisherman, and I guess after his family got to safety, he went back out into the floods and used his crab boat to rescue people off their roofs. These are the jeans of a Claudio Hemb. He got trapped in the French Quarter during the flooding and was trying to make his way back home. But and this just shows the sadness and desperation here, but he actually put his information, his name, his phone number, the name of his wife, all on his blue jeans, so that if someone recovered his body, they'd know who he was and know who to get in contact with. Here are some seats taken from the Superdome. Famously, the Superdome was where many of the people in the city migrated to in hopes to find safety, and they were stuck there amongst miserable, horrible conditions. Here's one of the MREs that was distributed to people stuck in New Orleans during the flood. It's a model of New Orleans. This is actually handmade and used as a presentation tool to show the dangers of the hurricanes, of flooding. Was made by a Charles Savoy, and is presented this in 1994 to show the danger that Louisiana was in, but his pitch was rejected. And interestingly enough, you can see he put a monster right there in Lake Pontchartrain, which would be, it's kind of ominous because that would literally come true. Here's a garage door. Of course, they would go around and mark the doors to talk about who was in there, who was alive, who was dead. It says, do not remove, owner will bury 1 dead dog. It says, in garage, 2 cats. Very, very sad stuff. This teddy bear here came from the Lakeview neighborhood. That's where we started off today, where we saw the flooded house museum. You can see how caked that is. with mud. These are items recovered from a Jewish congregation. Beth Israel said that they had tried to locate 7 Torah scrolls, but they were lost in the flood. You see the shofar or ram's horn there. It says that the following Mardi Gras celebration, they would wear costumes mocking the hurricane. So they would use blue tarps in their costumes to symbolize all the blue tarps being used to cover up damaged roofs. You can see this skirt here, where you see someone being helicoptered out of the flood. The other exhibit they have is Mardi Gras, which is upstairs. I actually had the pleasure of attending Mardi Gras in 2019, and when you're at Mardi Gras, this is what you're after. All the floats come by, and you try to collect all these parade throws. There's the doubloons, of course the ubiquitous beads, and other little stuffed animals and toys. In this room we have some of the costumes that be used in the Mardi Gras balls. See some of these crazy, elaborate costumes. You can see the wizard right there. And then this yellow brick road themed dress here. I guess looks like the Emerald City on her back. The yellow brick road leading to it. This is a crew of Amun-Ra seahorse costume. Look at the size of that knife. That is for cutting king cake. I can only imagine how big of a king cake that would need to cut. Talking about floats here, the massive floats are truly impressive. See, they just have a hand holding a Triton spear there. Of course, the official food of Mardi Gras is these king cakes, which are like these giant cinnamon rolls with all sorts of different frosting and flavors. They're actually really super good. These are doubloons. These are coins that are made by the crews. They're commemorative coins. They give out different ones each year. I actually collected a few of these when I was here in 2019. Some of the Mardi Gras beads, initially they would use like glass beads. They've evolved over the years. People using bigger plastic beads now. This elk head, known as Mr. Elk, was a mask, so for someone put their head in there and they could see and talk through there, but they had a big elk on their head. Yeah, the whole crew system, I don't entirely understand myself, but they're different groups who put on their own parades. I saw the Zulu parade and the Rex parade when I was here in 2019. This here, there's like a ladder that people use so they can get closer and up higher to the parade so they can catch more of the throws that get thrown off of the parades. If a lot of what I'm saying doesn't make a ton of sense, that's okay. Mardi Gras has a really complex and elaborate backstory with an elaborate set of traditions, but in the end, I think sometimes it's best to not overanalyze it and just kind of go with it. So really, if you have a question about Mardi Gras, the answer is really just because Mardi Gras. Just go along with what's happening and have a good time. Here's a Flambeau. It's a giant metal torch with burning flames on it that they march through the streets. Now this is the Zulu crew. It's actually a carnival crew created by African Americans, and they would mock some of the ridiculous traditions of the white parade goers, and they would actually use stereotypical things like blackface as a way to mock the other parades. But yeah, very interesting history there. Now the Zulu coconut is often considered to be the best parade throw that you could possibly get, and I was so honored to be able to catch one in the 2019 parade. This one here is from 1949. It was given out by Louis Armstrong, who was the king of was King Zulu that year in 1949, so he handed out this particular Zulu coconut. Check out these bathrooms here in the museum. They look like porta potties, but when you open the door, oh my goodness, we're in a much larger, much normal bathroom. So this section talks about the Courrier de Mardi Gras. I guess this is a parade that would run from house to house. I guess these runs have a totally different look and feel than what we normally think of Mardi Gras. Have these comical costumes. You can see the pig nose and the big teeth there. Here's some of the fun-looking masks they'd use there. It says on these horseback runs, a tradition is actually dancing on the back of a horse. That seems like it'd be really difficult to dance on the back of a horse. And I don't know that the horse would necessarily love that either. Yeah, just check out that costume there. It's totally amazing. So again, if you're confused about any of these traditions, the answer is simply because Mardi Gras. Yeah, one thing I like about New Orleans, there's no other place like it. You can travel the entire world, and it's a complete anomaly, completely unique. Check this out here. We have Boutique des Vampires, curiosities, custom fangs, and tours. A little vampire shop here. Cool, they have a, in case of emergency, break glass, there's a wooden stake to take out vampires. Sealed holy water there. Some Voodoo Dolls. Some shrunken heads up there. Alright, so this is a fortune teller, Saint Germain. He is a local vampire legend, said to have been a vampire. So let's give him $5 there.
I do not believe that vampires sparkle. However, if you have done your research, you know that we can in fact vaporize. It is to our misfortune that in this vaporous form we can be bottled. If you take a bottled vampire home, beware and take care. Check your fortune ticket carefully. You may have won a gift. If not, maybe you would like to try again?
Oh, very cool. Got a fortune there from Saint Germain. Here's bottled vampires, so these actually contain the vaporous remains of vampires. So that this was a technique where they would actually trap vampires in wine bottles. Some vampire fortune candles. Oh, look at these little dolls here. Oh, look at that. Look at that little Krampus there. Oh, that's the best. Here's the French Quarter Monster. You can see him right there. It says that he is deep in the back of the vampire shop. You drop a coin in his cup and he will contemplate granting you one wish. He's a miserable bugger, but now and then he feels generous. So, got a coin. We will hope that I make it back from this trip in one piece. And he will contemplate allowing that happen. Another place I've not been in some time is the New Orleans Voodoo Museum. See, they have a alligator's head hanging above the doorway for protection. Alright, so this is like a active museum. It is run by practitioners of voodoo. There's a lot of shrines where people can leave offerings, leave money. You can see here, this is the Ichu. It kind of looks like the devil. People leaving money and cigarettes. For whatever reason, cigarettes are a common offering in voodoo shrines. So yeah, they eat you, similar to Satan. It says he's a trickster that spreads misinformation to those who don't acknowledge his power. So yeah, a lot of misinformation going around these days. I blame the Ichu. There's skulls up here. It says that this painted horse skull served as a warning to show that there was disease in the area. There's a manta ray cut into the form of a devilfish, or also known as a Jenny Hanover. It was used as a carnival gaff, but it says here that it actually was used in voodoo as a form of protection. And then here we have a black cat juju. It says it's hung around the house on the eve of All Saints' Day, used to protect the home against evil spirits here in New Orleans. Over here they have some child caskets along with some, oh man, those are like real bones there. That's just like a face. Look at that. That is somewhat spooky. But here we have a replica of a grave. You see these X's on it. That would be at this is a replica of Marie Laveau's grave, the Voodoo Queen. And people used to make 3 X's and make a wish for Marie Laveau. That's in St. Louis Cemetery number 1, but they actually do not allow that anymore. They blocked off the cemetery so that you can't do that. And here is the Rougarou. According to the plaque here, it says the Rougarou, a combination between a werewolf, a vampire, and a zombie. So a distinct creature here in the Louisiana swamps. You can shapeshift into an alligator. Very, very spooky stuff. Notice here at the Rougarou, people have left the Rougarou gift cards to Starbucks and Dairy Queen. I think that one looks like it's for a car wash. There's the wall of Voodoo Dolls. It says that the dolls will become connected to a person when you add a piece of that person, like their toenail clipping or their hair, to the doll. And you can use that doll to affect that person. Down here we have all sorts of different items used in voodoo spells. See a cat skull, a gator paw, a scorpion, a chicken foot. Here are some documents that are actually recovered from Marie Laveau's attic. It actually talks about zombies here and how that in the Caribbean they would use blowfish venom to render people highly suggestible and turn them into zombies. There's this whip here, is a zombie whip. It says this whip is from Haiti. It's over 100 years old. It was used, as its name implies, to whip zombies. This here is the primary altar here at the Voodoo Museum. You can see all the different Catholic figures and saints, and that's an important part of voodoo here in New Orleans, is that it is intrinsically combined with Catholicism. Marie Laveau, the Voodoo Queen, was a devout Catholic, but also used a lot of the traditional African beliefs and spells as well. It says that this is the rainbow serpent, which symbolizes God in some African cultures. It says when he bites his tail, he forms a complete loop like infinity. This is a shrine to Papa Legba. He's considered to be a liaison between the earth realm and the spirit world, as he presents as a kindly old man who protects voodoo temples here on earth. And here is Marie Laveau, right here, next to a voodoo wishing stump. It's like an old drum. You can write down your wishes and place them in there. It says, write your wish on the paper, wrap the paper around an offering or money, drop it into the stump, visualize your wish coming true, knock 9 times on the stump, offer a prayer to Marie Laveau and the Loas. When your wish has been granted, be sure to thank the spirit with a personal prayer and offering. There's some mini shrines to the 7 African powers. See Yamaya there. It's a mermaid-like figure. There's Eligwea, Oya, Ogun, Abatala. Over here we have this skeleton here wearing a mask, and a giant skeleton head right there. Now Bourbon Street doesn't appear quite as busy as it was when I was here for Mardi Gras, but it is a Wednesday night in January, so it's understandable. Definitely wanted to grab some food while I'm down here in the French corner. Let's check out Desire Oyster Bar. Starting out with half a dozen char grilled oysters. Oysters are one of my absolute favorite foods in the entire world. These look delicious. Oh, look at that steamy char grilled oyster there. Oh my gosh, that is practically a religious experience there. That is so amazing. I could weep over these oysters. So delicious. Oh my gosh. I don't know, got a little piece of bread there. This is so tasty, so amazing. This is exactly what I wanted. And here is my entree. I got the Swamp Daddy Po' Boy. Oh my gosh, so what this has got catfish on it. It's also got fried crawfish. And this is debris gravy, which is basically roast beef. When they cook roast beef, at the very bottom of the pan they have what they call the debris, the little bits with the gravy. So that's just poured on top here. I don't even know how I'm gonna eat that, but it looks amazing. All right, there we go. Trying to keep the structural integrity of the sandwich together. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so many delicious flavors at once. The catfish, crawfish, and that hearty roast beef. That is so good. Oh, so much. I may have to eat the rest of this with a fork. It's not really holding the sandwich consistency very well. So good. Absolutely denied Clean Plate Club status tonight. There's a lot of fries here, and I was trying to save a little bit of my appetite. Oh look, there's that guy. There's a little bar called the Dungeon. It says the quarter's most unique late night spot. Oh, that does look interesting. Here we catch our daily glimpse of that mighty Mississippi River. Over here they have the riverboat Natchez, which gives tours along the river here. And this sculpture here by the river is actually called Old Man River. So you see on the plaque here it says, "A man with a past, arms reach empty, God to a city, in love with the water." So this is Cinnamon?
Yeah,
Hey,
today's
Cinnamon.
her birthday. She just turned 11.
Happy birthday, Cinnamon. And then what's this little one?
This one's Garlic.
Hey, Garlic.
He's a little shy. His previous
Aw.
owners kept him locked in the backyard
Oh,
his whole life with no human contact. So he's
And
a
who's
little
this
shy.
here?
And that one's Nutmeg.
Nutmeg. And
That's Pepper.
Pepper. Hey, Pepper. Hey. That's a good bunny. Look at this. Rolling around the city on a bike full of dogs. Oh, they all look so sleepy. Hey there. Oh, happy birthday again. Over here we have Cafe Dumond. This is a coffee shop that's been sitting here on this corner in New Orleans since 1862. And I figure we go in and get ourselves a beignet. All right, now we got our beignets in here. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. There is so much powdered sugar on these beignets. They're kind of like donuts, but absolutely doused in powdered sugar. See? Oh my God. It caused like a cloud from breathing on it. Very good. So sweet. So sweet. Oh, you can see it's snowing off my donut. Those are good beignets.
Oh, pretty mama, daddy's got them teeth, hella blues. Singing, oh, pretty mama, your daddy's got them teeth, hella blues. Singing, oh, pretty mama, your daddy's got them teeth, hella blues.
The statue here of Jock the Butcher looks like people have been rubbing his steak. So I hope everyone enjoyed our day here in New Orleans, Louisiana. Tomorrow we find out. You guys have voted. We'll find out tomorrow morning what the vote is. Will we head east towards the Atlantic, or will we head west towards the Pacific Ocean? This is a divergent point in the trip, so I will head that direction in the morning, and then the voting will resume from there on what cities you guys would like to see me visit. Appreciate it. Appreciate so much. I really means a lot to me that you guys have been invested in this road trip and have been along with me to vote, to comment, to leave suggestions. It's been amazing, and let's keep this rolling for as long as we can. Again, there's no set stop point. I don't know, maybe this trip will come to a natural end. Maybe I'll have to call it at some point because I do need to get back home to have my wisdom teeth removed. But thank you so much. And if you want to help support the channel, consider contributing to Patreon. $3 or more will get you a postcard once a month. Also selling enamel pins. All that is in the description. All that helps keep this train on the track, this boat on the mighty Mississippi, and this dirigible in the air. Until tomorrow morning, my friends, this one's in the bag.